Hello everyone, we are Group 9, Marsha Lee, Anthony Lean, and Lourdes Johnson speaking to you now. This is the presentation part of our web archival project. The theme of our collection is urban farming. Public libraries are becoming seed banks. Food security is one topic of growing interest. Users are inquiring for resources on building community gardens and growing food in urban or city areas as a means to sustain themselves. On week 12, Professor Scott discussed the web archival life cycle model. By the end of our final project, we had a solid grasp of the workflow required to create a web archival program. We started appraisal and selection, the first step of the web archival workflow. We considered the limitations, such copyright issues, data storage, and technology constraints. We started with over 40 potential candidates. Adopting sampling methods and best practices, as suggested by New, were valuable to narrow down our final candidates. For example, we opted for a value sampling. Then we sorted our resources by media type, domain type, and copyright type. We narrowed down our focus to content under Creative Commons License 3.0 and 4.0, government and education sites. We learned that at the moment, social media and heavy videos can be problematic to archive on the archived platform. Therefore, we discarded sources that contain heavy streaming of videos and social media channels. Finally, we came up with the 10 seeds suitable for web archiving.
Hi, this is Marsha, and I'm going to briefly go over scoping, testing, and quality assurance. Once the seeds have been determined, we need to move on to scoping. The archive seed types determine linked content and how crawlers follow links to harvest data from web servers. Most of our seed types are standard and are thus crawled to archive its default scoping rules. However, we do have some seeds with one-page and one-page plus seed types assigned. Scoping different directories. For some of our seeds, we discovered the need to adjust and narrow the scope to specific directories. A test crawl of robgreenfield.tv revealed a huge amount of harvested data that wasn't entirely relevant to our topic. So we decided to remove robgreenfield.tv as a seed site and instead scope the specific directory of that site, robgreenfield.tv/growfood. The grow food portion encompassed most of the content we wanted to archive, and it allowed us to better focus the scope of data to harvest. Seed level scoping. For seed level scoping, we had to adjust seed scoping rules to ignore robots.txt files. Most of our sites had these robots.txt files in our test crawls, so we adjusted the seed scoping rules accordingly. Testing. As part of testing, we ran test crawls for all of our seed sites. Test crawls are important. They provide us a better picture of the seeds we've selected, how the crawl will run, and what will be archived before we commit to a production crawl and commit to using valuable storage space. This allows us to get a better sense of what scoping adjustments may need to be made and what potential issues may arise before we start a production crawl. We analyzed the results of the test crawls. Did they finish, given any limiters for time and data? What was the volume of captured data, the document rate, what were the file types and hosts? Was there anything potentially concerning? We were then able to evaluate the test crawls and respond accordingly. Quality assurance. In order to ensure that things have been archived properly, we needed to review our sites via quality assurance. Part of why quality assurance is so important is that it supports authentic archiving and reliability. In an overview of web archiving by Jinfeng New emphasizes the importance of preserving original order and maintaining external structures of websites. Quality assurance via the Wayback Machine allows us to check whether the external structure and original order are effectively being preserved. Through the Wayback Machine, we can identify missing documents, as you can see here in the lower right, view missing documents. And from there, we were able to perform patch crawls to address any deficits in our archived sites. Now, I'm going to turn it over to Tony to discuss metadata.
Metadata was entered under the Dublin Core format. Collection metadata describes our entire collection. Item level describes our individual seeds. Both the collection and item level metadata use the following fields: title, creator, subject, description, publisher, date, type, format, rights, collector, and language. Although most of the fields were fairly straightforward, we came across two challenges. First, the author field. We found that some authors did not wish to disclose their full or real name. Second, format. We needed to parse out the different file types from our seeds as they were co-mingled in one big crawl report. This was both messy and confusing. We begin our Archive It tour at the collection level. Starting from the top, we find the title of our collection, Group 9 Urban Farming. In the next line, we see that our collection is part of the San Jose State University School of Information group of collections. Next is the Archived Since field that contains the date this collection was first archived in Archive It. In the next following lines, we see the metadata fields that we encountered in the previous slide: description, subject, creator, publisher, format, type, date, rights, language, and collector. Description provides a brief statement of the contents of our collection. Subject contains the Library of Congress subject heading of our collection. Creator is our Information 284 class group of collections. The publisher is archiveit.org. Format contains the top 10 MIME file types that we identified in our collection. Type is the Dublin Core metadata control term that we identified as collection. Date provides the creation date for our collection. Rights provides the use and limitation statement for our collection. The English language is the predominant language found in our collection. And finally, collector identifies our team members who created this collection. Next on our tour is the item level area of our collection. This part contains the 10 seeds that we developed for our Archive It collection. The metadata fields are the same as the collection level metadata fields. However, the descriptions are for each individual seed rather than the entire collection. We see our results displayed at the item level alphabetically by title from A to Z. We can change the sorting from Z to A, or we can sort alphabetically by URL from A to Z, or URL from Z to A. If we look at the left-hand side of the screen, we see our metadata limiters for subject, creator, publisher, date, type, and so on. If we look at the subject limiter, for example, we see urban agriculture followed by the number 8. If we click on the link, we see the 8 archived sites with the Library of Congress subject heading. Next on our tour is the search field. If we click in the search field, type in the word city, then click on search, we see the 3 results that match our search term. On the results page, you'll notice that the word city is bolded to make our search term easier to find. Thank you so much for viewing our presentation. Our references follow on the next slide.